Today, I'm going to determine what is the best LEGO theme to collect or just to enjoy. I'll be talking about most themes and their pros and cons. The things I'm looking to take into consideration is price, which is a big one, looks, if the set looks good or not, playability, if you can enjoy playing with these sets, minifigures, also a big factor for me in a LEGO set, and display, how good they will look on a shelf. And then I'll give the themes a ranking out of 10 to determine which is the best LEGO theme. So let's dive straight in. And before we continue, guys, if you do enjoy this video, smash that like button. I really appreciate it if you do. Also, try and subscribe with your elbow. I don't know if you did it last video, but I want you to try again and see if you can actually do it this time. Let's get straight into it. So first theme, we're going to do LEGO architecture. There's some really nice buildings here, don't get me wrong. And I actually haven't put my hand in the LEGO architecture pot yet, but let's add up some scores. So all these scores are my opinion, and that is not necessarily the right opinion. Just keep that in mind. So, price. To me, the sets look very expensive for what you're getting. Let's take the Paris set, for example. The retail price is £45 for 649 pieces, which isn't that bad price per piece, but considering how small the set is, I'd say the price is too high. So, for price, I'm giving this theme a 5 out of 10 in the middle. For looks, I'm going to go straight with an 8 out of 10. Some of the builds look insane, where others are a little bit of a letdown. Playability is a low score. You can try to play with this, but I feel like the scale of the build compared to a minifig is lacking. So I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10 for playability. Minifigures is a 0 out of 10 as they do not include minifigures, but that's understandable as the theme is literally called architecture, not architecture and minifigs. Display is an instant 10 out of 10 as these sets would fit very well on a shelf. Very nice. So adding up all the scores, we've come to an average of 4.8 out of 10. Not a bad start. So let's get on to the next theme. The LEGO Botanical Collection. Right, okay, I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but here we go. For the price of these fake flowers, you could get multiple real flowers. And I know real flowers die off and LEGO obviously doesn't, but I do not understand it personally. Most of these LEGO Botanical sets are averaging around £50 per set. And for fake flowers, to me, that's an instant 2 out of 10 for price. On the other hand, for looks, they're really good. I mean, they are flowers, so they're supposed to look good, but definitely a 9 out of 10 for looks on this theme. For playability, I'm rating these a 0 out of 10. I mean, if you can tell me in the comments how to play with these flowers, I'll happily change the rating. Once again, no minifigures are in these sets, so that's an instant 0 out of 10. And for display, I feel like these would look fabulous on a shelf, or even your kitchen window. 10 out of 10 for display. So after adding up all the ratings, we've come up with an average of 4.2 out of 10 for the Botanical Collection. Up next is LEGO Brickheads. LEGO Brickheads, in my opinion, are a really fun, cheaper alternative to have the option to build some of your favourite characters from different movies, shows and games. With prices being as cheap as £10 for a single brickhead to a bundle of 6 brickheads for £50. And for what they are, I feel like the price on these are very fair. So I'm going to give this theme a price score of 8 out of 10. Considering the small amount of pieces in brickheads, they look incredible and represent the character they're meant to look like very well. They are a little bit small, but for the looks in general, I'm giving this theme a solid 7 out of 10. For playability, I feel like it'll be possible to play with these. Whilst probably a little bit fragile whilst playing, you could probably have a decent time with these. I'm going to give a score of 5 out of 10 because in summary, possible to play, may break in the process. They do not include minifigures, so once again, a big fat 0 out of 10 is needed here. And for display, I feel like if you have multiple brickheads together, it would look much better than if you were only to have 1 or 2. So I'm going to give display a 5 out of 10. And adding up these ratings, I've come to the conclusion that the average rating is 5 out of 10. Not bad, our highest so far. Up next, we have LEGO City. The prices are very different here for multiple different sets because you could buy a police car for £9 or you could buy a massive LEGO City Downtown set for £180. For what you get for your money, it's not too bad. As for the rating, I'd say a solid 6 out of 10. Not too expensive, but certainly not the cheapest. For looks, I'm going to give LEGO City an 8 out of 10. What you see is what you get, really. You want a plane? You've got a plane. You want a red double-decker sightseeing bus? You've got a red double-decker sightseeing bus. So I believe an 8 out of 10 is a good score. For playability, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Most of the sets in this theme you can play with, although others, like the road plate, you'll need to buy other things to add on to make it playable. For minifigures, I'm giving this another 9 out of 10. The amount of different variety of minifigures you get is actually crazy, and sometimes getting 6 to 8 minifigures in just one set alone. Even the small car sets, sometimes you get 2 minifigures, so I think a 9 out of 10 is a deserved rating. Lego City displays are very well known in the Lego community, so we all know that you can display Lego City sets, but the amount you need to buy to be able to have a city that looks good on display is insane. Therefore, I'm giving display 7 out of 10, just because it's hard to get set up. And this gives us an average rating of 7.8 out of 10, and Lego City is in the lead by far. Next up, we have Lego DC. Now I'm going to get one thing straight, I'm a Marvel fanboy through and through, and I will boycott DC until the day I die. But I will not hold any bias today. So for price, I'm giving Lego DC a 0 out of 10. For looks, 0 out of 10. Playability, 0 out of 10. Minifigures, 0 out of 10. And display, 0 out of 10. And we've come to the conclusion that the average is 0 out of 10. You guessed it. Lego Disney. Looking at the prices for these sets, I would say they are fair. Pretty standard pricing for Lego sets. I'm going to give this theme a 7 out of 10 on price. For looks, most of the builds look very detailed. Ones that spring to mind are the Seven Dwarfs Cottage, the Up House, and the Disney Castle. Some of the brick-built characters also look great, like Stitch and Young Simba. For looks, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. The mini builds just don't hit the spot. For playability, most of the Disney sets look like display sets, therefore I do not see much playability. Don't get me wrong, there are a few sets that have playability, but not enough. 4 out of 10. As for minifigures, it's a 50-50, I think. I'd say about half of Disney sets available right now are Brickheads and buildable characters. Therefore, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10 for minifigures. Most of the expensive building sets have figures in, but that's about it. For display, I'm going to give Lego Disney a solid 9 out of 10. Everything in this theme looks good on display, and even better if you're a big Disney fan. A solid rating for Disney because the average is 6.6 out of 10. We are going to the wizarding world of Harry Potter next, starting off with the price. After a quick scan through available sets at this moment in time, they are expensive. Very expensive. And don't get me wrong, what you get for the price isn't bad at all, but if you want to collect Harry Potter sets, you better be ready to cough up the cash. 4 out of 10 for price. Not much cheap variety. As for looks, Lego Harry Potter does not miss the mark when it comes to creating well-detailed builds, as most of the sets in this theme are spot on for looks. A solid 10 out of 10. With the amount of cool buildings you can get, playability is at its best. You can make a scene with most of the builds in this theme, therefore I'm giving this an 8 out of 10 for playability. In pretty much every set in this theme, you're getting an average of 3 to 4 minifigures. The minifigures are very good quality and look as they should. 7 out of 10 for minifigures. And for display, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10 again. Most of the sets would look wonderful on display, but others cannot compete on their own, which gives us an average rating of 7.2. Not a bad score for Harry & Co. So this is a fairly new theme that isn't even out yet as of recording this video, but I'm gonna base my ratings from what we've seen so far. This is Lego Fortnite. The price is actually very solid so far, and the builds are decent size for the price you're paying. 9 out of 10 for price. Very cheap and good quality, which leads us on to looks. Everything in these sets look as they should, with very good quality and very good detail. 9 out of 10. Playability, from what I can see so far, is minimal, but there are only 4 sets so far, so it's a bit hard to judge. The Battle Bus looks like it has a lot of playability, whereas the Der Burger is just a burger with eyes, so I'm going to be giving this theme a 5 out of 10 on playability. But that is probably going to change once more sets are released. For minifigures, Lego Fortnite lacks a little bit so far. Out of these 4 sets, only 1 of them has minifigures. But the redeeming factor is the minifigures in the Battle Bus set look absolutely incredible, and I'm excited to see more. 5 out of 10 for minifigures. For display, I reckon these sets would look really good on display, so I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. And adding up the scores, we come up with a rating of 7.2 out of 10 again. the same as Harry Potter. Lego Marvel is the next theme to be rated. Starting off with price, I'd say for what you get, it's a bargain. The Sanctum Sanctorum for £200 is a very good deal for a full-scale modular building with multiple minifigures. And the Spider-Man Final Battle is a great display piece for £95, with one decent-sized build and 9 minifigures. So for price, I'd say 8 out of 10 is a fair spot. With Luke's, it's the same again. Great detail and looks amazing. Every set is represented how it should be and they all look incredible, except for the mechs. 8 out of 10 for Luke's. For playability, there is multiple sets that accomplish this goal. Buildings, vehicles, and even mechs. 9 out of 10. Minifigures are a great hit as well in this theme. Multiple minifigures in each set, all being great quality. You can probably collect every character fairly quickly with the amount of minifigures they give you. 8 out of 10. And for display, we have some hits and some misses. The modular buildings, the helmets, and the spaceships make great display models, but on the other hand, the mechs, the 4+ sets, and the little vehicles do not. 6 out of 10 for display, which gives us the total average of 7.8 out of 10, and that is now tied with Lego City so far for the first place spot. Next up, we have Lego Minecraft, one of my all-time favourite games growing up, but unfortunately the Lego sets don't hit the mark. We have incomplete builds for the extortionate prices of £50 average. Most of the sets are very expensive for what they are, so unfortunately I'm giving pricing a 4 out of 10. For Luke's, again, the builds are incomplete and hardly resemble anything. I know there's probably not much more they could do, but to me, these sets do not look impressive. 4 out of 10. Playability, on the other hand, is very, very good. With these sets being so open, you can easily move your minifigures around and make them fight off creepers. Hours of playability could be had with these, and you could probably attach multiple Minecraft sets to make even more playability. 9 out of 10. Minifigures are lacking a bit. Most of the time you get 2 to 3 minifigures in a set, and then a few animals, which are brick built, so not very impressive. Although I will say the different designs on the Minecraft skin minifigures do look cool sometimes. 5 out of 10. Display is a solid 1 out of 10, with the exception being the new Minecraft crafting table, which is a great display piece and I would love to pick it up one day. That gives us an average rating of 4.6 out of 10 for Minecraft. Speed Champions is up next. I think these cars are a very good price for what you're picking up. Sometimes you can get 2 cars for £40 or 1 car for £20. So not a bad price if you're into your motors. 7 out of 10. The design of these cars look really, really good. Most of them look very different from one another, making it really exciting to keep picking them up from stores. Opening doors and seats for the minifigures. These cars are not to be slept on for looks. 7 out of 10. Playability is a 50-50 in my opinion. There's only so long you can drive your cars around for until you get bored, so there's no variety in that department, but it should keep you going for a few hours. A nice 5 out of 10 for playability. Each car comes with 1 minifigure and the designs on them are really, really cool. Racing attire and sometimes a helmet gives these minifigures a fitting final touch, and they look great in the driver's seat. 7 out of 10. For display, if you have more than one, you can make a really cool looking car collection display, but I think with just 1 or 2 cars in your display, it might be a little bit boring and underwhelming. Our average score for Speed Champions is 6.2 out of 10. Finally, let's get to Lego Star Wars, arguably Lego's most popular theme. Pricing is what lets Lego Star Wars down big time. £160 for one singular spaceship is extortionate to me. And the fact that they slap the word exclusive to get people to pay ridiculous prices for one singular minifigure is beyond me. Even the smaller sets are around £35, which is crazy. So for the price, I'm going to give Lego Star Wars a 3 out of 10. For Luke's on the other hand, the sets look really, really good with nice detail. The spaceships look pretty much exactly how they should and are on top notch. The only exceptions are the mechs and some of the grey slabs. But overall, they do a good job at depicting what things should look like. 8 out of 10. Moving on to playability, most Star Wars sets have play features including almost every single starship, most dioramas, and even sometimes the little side builds. You could probably go for hours swooshing a ship around your living room if you wanted to. Stud shooters, hidden compartments, liftable cockpits, levers to turn the tiles your minifigure is standing on. There is plenty to play around with. 10 out of 10 for playability. Minifigures are also really, really good in Lego Star Wars and have some really cool designs. They have made a few mistakes with them at times, but overall, solid minifigures and look how they should. 9 out of 10. And now for display. The ships are great for display. The buildable characters are good for display. The dioramas are good for display. I think you get the gist. Most LEGO Star Wars sets you can display and they look incredible. The only exception would probably be battle packs, polybags, 4+ sets, as they do not work with display. 8 out of 10. And the average score we have is 7.6 out of 10. The price is definitely letting LEGO Star Wars down here. So the final scores are in. We have DC at 10th, Botanical at 9th, Minecraft at 8th, Architecture at 7th, Brickheads at 6th, Speed Champions at 5th, Disney at 4th, LEGO Fortnite and Harry Potter joint 3rd, LEGO Star Wars 2nd, and LEGO Marvel and LEGO City in joint 1st place. Let me know in the comments whether you prefer LEGO Marvel or LEGO City.